Commissioner Ruby,
Present.
Commissioner Hellman,
Yeah, here.
Commissioner Scola,
Here.
Commissioner Van Alstine,
Here.
Commissioner Heffernan.
Here, thank you, Vicky. Public comment, this evening, Mr. Corky.
Hi, I'm Corky Crimmins from Elk Rapids Township. Politics and government can often be one giant slodge of hard work and thankless labor, as you all know. But every so often, as an individual seeks to work hard, to do the job to the best of their ability, to go above and beyond the job description, others take notice. Today, it is my privilege to report someone has noticed. The Michigan Fair Elections Institute, to be specific. The Michigan Fair Elections Institute's goal is to support free and fair elections in Michigan. They quote the Supreme Court Justice Louis E. Brandeis, "Sunlight is said to be the best of disinfectants. Electric light, the most efficient of policemen." With that in mind, they created the Sunlight Award, honoring those of outstanding dedication and exemplary service in responding to citizens' requests for information about elections with speed, accuracy, and professionalism. These persons' commitment to transparency and efficiency strengthens the public trust in the democratic process, and they uphold the highest standard of civic duty. It is my honor, on behalf of the Michigan Fair Elections Institute, to present this Sunlight Award to our Antrim County Clerk, Vicki Bishop.
Thank you.
Vicki, you want to come on up? Of Michigan's 83 county clerks, you're among 18 who responded in 5 or fewer business days to a FOIA request for election data from November 24 general election. Only 22% of Michigan's 83 county clerks provided that information quickly. Of the 18 clerks qualifying for the award, you met all 3 of the following criteria: willingness to provide the information, some clerks denied the request, and not charging for the information, and providing the data within 5 business days. So Vicki, congratulations, and thank you for your service to the people of Antrim County. Thank you. Oh, turn it, right side up.
This was, you know, great.
Congratulations.
All right.
Hello, good evening. My name is Terry Kupner. I'm from Elk Rapids also, and I'm here to speak specifically about the Elk Rapids Harbor expansion proposal that was presented to you on your last Thursday, April 17th at the 6:30 meeting. On that April 17th meeting, the Village of Elk Rapids did not request county funds. Instead, they asked for something arguably more valuable: public lakefront land. Specifically, they are seeking to take away a portion of the dam beach and the adjacent fish park, designated public spaces for the expansion of boat slips. First, let's be clear on the difference. Money is a renewable resource. Land, especially public lakefront land, is not. Once you give away or repurpose this kind of land, you don't get it back, not for future generations, not for public use. Now, let's be clear about what's happening. That would be a fundamental change in how that land serves a community. Dam Beach and the surrounding fish park, parklands are places where anyone, residents, visitors, families, can access the water freely. Taking away even a portion of the space into a harbor expansion for boat slip rentals shifts that land from being inclusive and shared to being exclusive and limited. The landscape architect renderings that were presented last Thursday's meetings were beautiful. But no amount of landscaping or attractive visual changes the fact that this project takes away public land to be benefited by boaters' interests. This is a loss for the broader community and a permanent one. This isn't about being anti-expansion. It's about protecting public access and making sure public land stays public. We should be extremely cautious before handing over natural communal spaces to projects that benefit a smaller paying segment of the population. I strongly urge this board not to give your blessing to this expansion, which, by the way, has not even been brought before the village yet for approval. Your support would signal approval of removing some open public shoreline into a restricted area that serves only those who can afford slip fees. This is not what this land was meant for. I urge the county to very carefully consider allowing any portion of this designated beach and fishing park to be taken away for harbor use. This land is park leased to the village from the county. Don't take away public parkland. The precedent it sets and the public value we lose are too great. Thank you.
Thanks, Terry. There is, Kevin. Yep, Diane.
My name is Diane Richter. I'm also from the village of Elk Rapids. And I'm just piggybacking Terry Kuffner a bit, but I have some information that might be interesting. In March 1967, the county actually purchased the power dam. Following the construction of the breakwater in Elk Rapids, nature took over and formed the dam beach and fishing park and the dunes on the back side of the county-owned property at the dam. In 1988, the state of Michigan conveyed and that land then was the state of Michigan's land. But in 1988, the state of Michigan conveyed the accrued and the filled bottom lands as created by natural processes to the county, creating county ownership of the entire parcel. The county leases the parcel to the village in 1985 and amends the lease in 1989. In 88, the county leases the property in 1985 and amends the lease in 1989 to account for the state conveyed bottom lands. And I have a copy of the deed here, which I can share if you're interested. And the deed specifically states it as part of it, the property is to be used and properly maintained as parkland open to the general public. Shore fishing by the general public to be allowed. The property shall revert to the state of Michigan if those conditions are not met. And then in the meantime, too, the village, also because they're leasing it, well, they put a conservation easement almost on the whole property. Let's see. And they have a dam, beach and fishing park management plan that goes through like everything that's controlling that park. And then just for your information, this is a DNR map and it shows like the whole fishing reef that DNR has in the front of that whole area, the harbor and the whole area for, it's the only naturally reproducing reef that naturally reproduces Cisco, lake whitefish and lake trout. And they're trying to replicate that in other parts of the state. And then the village also has an ordinance that governs that property. So I just thought I'd share that with you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, John.
All right, I'll bring this up so I can project into it. I first want to acknowledge Sheriff Polk. He's the most powerful person in this county, if people aren't aware of that. He is.
Hey, John, remember, talk to us. Okay?
All right, well, anyways, when Sheriff Johnson was running, I asked him who the most powerful person was, and he told me the prosecuting attorney. Well, I told him that wasn't true. So according to the Constitution, which we aren't in right now, we're in a bankruptcy of 1933, the sheriff is the most powerful, and he deserves to have accommodations to do business. A building was knocked down over here. I don't know why. I don't think it was condemned, but it was an answer for having administrative purposes over there. And we got another one supposedly over here, let it go, and tear that one down. So now the sheriff is going to open a tight spot with his folks that he has to work with. would like to make a suggestion. And also, the issue review doesn't tell the people much about what's really going on with the SIL project. I found out January the Carol saying it was 56 beds. Well, I just found out about a month ago that we already got 56 beds. Well, according to the sheriff that I've heard at times, I heard the house was 75 people involved in that building. So there's 20 beds left occupied. 56 beds, I think if you could build that type of complex, we can build it out at the airport, the southeast side, and the building right now that could be used for emergency, the 911, but building around that, and then we might be able to get people near receptors to have a building of our size built in this town. Still, it should become a park for the people in this town, and for the county, with I would say a splash pad, a building, playground activities, and then this building, they certainly have meetings which are all around. It's the plan that I heard that this construction will begin to next spring. So that $8.5 million is just rolling along, and but I think it could be used to improve this building we have here right now. So now to market, there's someone that want to store likes on our farm buildings. But I think that should be considered that we can put out a town, and over here at the airport, there's plenty of land over there at the southeast section. Emergency management used to have trailers was now north of that. But doing something like that in time, I don't think it's necessary because many cases are done now in Zoom. And I don't know how many places we have on this complex now, but they're going to build 56 beds. And if we take them from other counties, that would be the cost of maintaining it. And it's always a little lower. So, consider that, folks. I think you have more people really appreciative if it was moved that way.
Thanks, John. Thanks. Anyone else for public comment? Yes, man. Sorry, Rick, I'll get you next. No problem.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Mindy Fernandez, and I am Legislative Director for State Representative John Roth. So just wanted to stop by, say hi, and let you know that our office is open and open and available for everybody to ask us questions. And want to let you know that if you have anything special going on, we love to do tributes and happy notes. We do anniversaries, things like that. Just a little recognition for people doing special things in Antrim County, grand openings, businesses, whatever. So want to let you know that those are available. And we are working on, John has been put on appropriations for this year. We have the Health and Human Services budget, which is the largest budget. And we are working on cutting the budget. We can't go $189 million of tax money going out the door. So we have been working really hard, looking at every line, looking at every full-time employee. We're looking at every space that we can save some money. So that's what we've been doing. So Karen, and we just wanted to say hi and thank you for all that you guys.
Thanks for stopping in, Mindy. Appreciate it. Randy.
Randy Bishop, Torchlight. Found it kind of interesting, the timing. Looked at your agenda today, and I had a guest on my show today, Carla Wagner from axmytax.org. And she's asked me to be the county chair for the petition drive, the statewide petition drive to eliminate property taxes in the state of Michigan, homestead, non-homestead, and business tax. The petition sheet is here. I have a few with me if you're interested. And this is basically all the language that's attached to the signing sheet that amends the state's constitution. And if folks go to axmytax.org, you can click on volunteer and be part of this effort. Started April 1st, it'll end September 30th, and the mission is to collect 600,000 signatures to put it on the ballot. Antrim County, for our small community, has to collect 2,300 signatures. And we know what we just did recently here in the county regarding signatures. It was interesting because during the show and talking with Carla, I got a text from Miss P in Petoskey. My sister owns 5 investment properties. All are taxed as non-homestead. We all know what that is. Not your principal residence, it's double the taxes. 3 of the properties are located in Antrim County. One is in Kalkaska and one is in Otsego. All of the properties are roughly the same type, constructions, year, and values. And out of the 5, 3 most expensive are in Antrim County. So what she was implying basically or stating is that the one in Kalkaska County and the one in Otsego County have cheaper taxes than the 3 here in Antrim. So just take this in mind. As more people are getting informed about this, we have numerous county board of commissioners supportive of this because it actually increases local revenue sharing in the way all this language amends the state constitution. You may know or may not know your local revenue sharing to your townships, which takes care of your elections primarily, but also some have fire departments, police departments, or they work in concert with the sheriff. They get most of their revenue sharing from sales tax. Schools are funded with the lottery, corporate taxes, income tax, use tax, a lot of other things. So I encourage you to learn more about this. Again, the website is very simple, axmytax.org. If you want to volunteer in Antrim County, I'll be the person that you'll be working with. I've got over 300 petition sheets with me. They do have to stay attached. You can't tear the language off of the sheet. So with that, thank you very much, and I'll stay over if anybody has any questions.
Thanks, Randy. Anyone else? Public comment? Sheriff.
They say the best for life.
I would like to introduce, excuse me, Kevin Holt, your Antrim County Sheriff. I want to introduce one of my newest deputies, Deputy Brandon Hunt. Deputy Hunt has been with us for about 5 months, and he is just got out of FTO, which is field training. And he's been on his own for just about a month now. And I wanted to bring him in to introduce to everybody and also model our new uniforms. So. What all my deputies are gonna wear, my corrections officers as well. They came to me and they asked me about some uniforms, so give me some styles and we'll go from there. I did these type of pants again, for comfort for the guys with the gals with boots on the ground. I want to be comfortable. The other area we've had for quite some time. We take it off, get in their substation or at the office and do the reports in a safe space. So further ado, I want to give you something. So I want to read something real quick and I'll hurry up here. On Sunday, May 11th, 2025, around 1911 hours, Deputy Brandon Hunt responded to a home in Mansalona Township for a welfare check. Once Deputy Hunt arrived, he received no answer at the front door. Deputy Hunt turned to more resources and was able to gain access into the home. And once inside, he saw the homeowner in her chair, awake, but unresponsive to any questions. She had been in the chair for several hours with medical emergencies. Deputy Hunt contacted EMS to assist in transporting the patient to the hospital. The quick actions of Deputy Hunt definitely saved her life on this day. I want to congratulate Deputy Hunt and award him the life-saving award. Thank you. The certificate for Deputy Hunt. Put that wherever you want, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. All right, no other public comment? Okay, we'll move on. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
So move.
Is there a second?
I'll support.
Moving to second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Approval of minutes, in front of you, clerks provided, closed session minutes. Be a second to look at those if you haven't.
I'll make a motion that we approve them as presented.
Is there a second? I'll support. Everyone had a chance to look at them? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? We could pass those down to your right. We'll give them back to the clerk, please. Thank you. Moving on, regular meeting minutes dated May 1st, looking for a motion to approve those.
I'll make the motion.
And a second.
I'll second.
Is there any corrections? Sorry, I should have asked first. Any corrections? No corrections moved. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Liaison reports or committee reports? Anyone? Jason?
I had a finance meeting with the Board of Health today and, well, I found out yesterday, my wife's a teacher in Mansalona, if anybody knows, or nobody knows. They had closed the, Ironman Health Center down and they've been working on getting a nurse in the school and we now have nurse in the school. So that's kind of exciting news for my community. So that's all.
What else? Cheers.
Yeah, the Antrim County Fair Board met Monday. And Cody Randall, who was the president, submitted his resignation. He is going back to school full time. He's going to be moving in the next year or so to Missouri to study seminary. So they're looking for another board member. The vice chair moved up as chairman at the meeting. So the Antrim County Fair is scheduled for August. I believe it's August 7th. It's on their Facebook page. So if anybody wants to attend the Antrim County Fair, they are posting regular updates. And then today I had North Country Community Mental Health, and we went over some finances again. And last year, the state of Michigan, the legislature appropriated money, and they only released 96% of the money that they appropriated. So that left mental health organizations with $137 million deficit. That's how much the 4% comes to. So it's pretty significant. They have seen some more money come through recently, but we are cutting some things that we don't feel are as essential to keep our budget in line. For those who don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so that has been promoted in different areas in Antrim County and in our 6-county region. We also talked about Grand Traverse Industries a little bit, and our CEO is scheduled a meeting with them tomorrow. So he's trying to come to a resolution to help those folks out a little bit, especially with sounds like they've got more paperwork and more things for Medicaid that they need to fill out. And they're also their budget is very tight right now. So.
And thank you again, Jairus, for following up. I mean, continuing to follow up on GTI. I appreciate it. Two things. First of all, Grass River Natural Area week from tomorrow, May 23rd, as a ribbon cutting on the new boardwalk that we've talked about here, 1 o'clock at Grass River a week from tomorrow. Today, I was at Northern Michigan Community Action Agency. It was brought to my attention that Antrim County still has approximately $20,000 available for home repairs in the community. The clock is ticking on those being expiring, if you will. if anybody knows a homeowner who needs repairs, roofs, anything, certainly they can apply. Lady's name is Kathy Burbank that they would want to call. Her telephone number is 231-346-2159. She's intake and administration specialist at Northern Michigan Community Action Agency, where everybody knows that the county works with, we don't have our own housing department, so we work with NMCAA to facilitate those types of loans for us. I did leave a few of Kathy's cards on the back table as well. I didn't have a whole lot, but feel free to take a card of hers. So that's all I have. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Moving on, there's no old unfinished business. New business, claims and accounts. Can I get a motion to approve claims and accounts in the amount of $217,000, $217,290.20? If I said that right.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Ray. I will second that motion. Any questions on the bills? Okay, being no questions, all those in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. And reports, Glacier Hills Natural Area. First, Max. Hello, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you.
You can have a presentation for you. My name is Curtis Myers, and I am here on behalf of the Friends of Glacial Hills, who give you our calendar year 2024 annual report. I'm joined by Jim Fisher. Jim is one of our regular volunteers and a longtime participant of the Glacial Hills. First thing I would like to do, if you want me to be.
Yeah, that'd be real loud if you just say.
Next slide, please.
First of all, thank you. The county has been very, very supportive of Glacial Hills over the years, especially financially recently. In 2023, we asked you to help us with putting in some water at the Vandermark Road Trailhead. You agreed to do that. We put in the water. We received the funds in 2024. Thank you. You normally appropriate about $5,400 that goes into our general fund. And then we also asked you in 2024 to help us with one of our parking lot expansions, which you agreed to. We completed that work in 2024 and we started to receive the monies earlier this year. Again, thank you very much for all of the support that you have given to Glacial Hills. We certainly couldn't do it without those funds. Next. Profession. In a previous report, we had talked about the fact that we installed trail counters. 2024 is the first year that we actually have a full year's worth of trail counter data. So this is a report that we pulled out of our system just today. So the grand total number of impressions, and I'm saying impressions because this doesn't necessarily mean unique individuals on the trails, but the number of trail impressions on our counters was 51,169 for calendar year 24. Since that's our first year's worth of data, I can't tell you whether that's more or less than the prior year, but certainly next year when I report back to you, I'll be able to tell you how our year-over-year trail usage is. Anecdotally, trail usage is up. We have plenty of people that are riding their bikes, hiking, running, walking their dogs, snowshoeing, all kinds of activities year-round at Glacial Hills. That's what usage looked like in 2024. Thanks. What did we accomplish in 2024? We had a couple of major projects. Every year, as many of you know, we hold a spring cleanup day, and that's usually in conjunction with Earth Day. That's the day that many volunteers show up and we do some work. And that's just something we do every year. We just did it this recent, the last Saturday in April of this year as well. But as far as notable accomplishments, we've expanded 2 of our parking lots. One of the things that we have been concerned about over the years is not having enough parking, especially on busy weekends like Memorial, Labor Day, 4th of July. So we expanded the parking lot at the Vandermark Road Trailhead. We have double the parking we had before. We also were able to expand parking at our Orchard Hill Road, which was the smallest of the parking lots. And now it is more than double of what it was before. So as of right now, we have no concerns about not having adequate parking. And hopefully there won't be cars up and down the road the way there has been in the past.
Also, this year, we completely redesigned our website. If you haven't been to our website recently, I would encourage you to go to glacialhillstrails.org and see the work that we have done there. Also, in the fall, we were able to purchase a second snowmobile with the help of our friends at the Northern Michigan Mountain Biking Association. We purchased a second snowmobile, which we use for grooming the trails in the winter. And guess what? If you hadn't heard, we had a lot of snow this past winter, so that snowmobile got a lot of usage. Glacial Hills would not be what it is without our volunteers. We meet every Thursdays, including this morning, was our second day of the year, but we meet every Thursday morning throughout the year. And so last year in 2024, we met 26 times. We keep track of our hours. So we accumulated more than 950 hours of volunteer effort. 26 of our volunteers contributed more than 10 hours each. And we actually had 50 different people show up on any given Thursday for the year. We have a chainsaw gang. They were very busy. They cleared more than 200 trees. We actually have an online database using ArcGIS, a tool that the county also uses. So we kept track of the number of trees, and we cleared more than 200 trees throughout the year. Those are trees that have fallen across the trail. We have a second group of volunteers that are responsible for eradicating invasive species. They had 20 days and accumulated 496 hours of time. I mentioned the snow, the fact that we got a second snowmobile. We groomed 35 times this winter. That is probably 6 or 7 times what we would normally do, especially compared to last winter where we had virtually no snow. So having that second snowmobile was great for us. And then this year we honored Dean Crandall. Many of you probably know Dean. We honored Dean as our volunteer of the year. Next slide. Providing you a financial,
Sorry about that.
that's okay. Financial report, we spent a lot of money. The details are there. I'm happy to answer any questions. I won't read you all the numbers. It was submitted in our report to you as well. We ended the year with less money than we started, but that's because of all of the projects. However, some of the projects that we spent money on in 24, we're now receiving that money, like the appropriation event that the county is giving us for our Vandermark or our Orchard Hill parking expansion. So finally, what are we planning for 2025? We will continue to maintain the trails just like we always do on Thursdays. We focus on the trailhead appearance, making sure that the trailheads are adequate for the people who come to park. We always are working to repair the trail bed, clearing trees, same with invasive species. Our 2 major projects, and I do have to give a lot of thanks to Jim Fisher here, who has personally written a search and rescue manual. And if you may recall, we asked you to allow us to use the 2-track paths out there for emergency access. You gave us that permission. So what we've been doing over the past year is making sure that the 2 tracks are clear. Now we actually have installed signage indicating what trails are emergency access, and the search and rescue manual that Jim has documented give our first responders information about where they need to go if someone were to call 911 asking for support. So we are going to continue to finish that wayfinding for emergency access project. We did a lot of work last week. Today, we'll probably be finished with that by the 4th of July. Wouldn't you think, Jim? And then our hope at our Orchard Hill Road trailhead is to put some split rail fence up. If any of you have been by there, you'll notice that we expanded the parking lot, but we now want to put some split rail fence along the roadway just to make sure that people are parking appropriately. So those are the planned projects for 2025. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Jeff?
Yeah, looking through your financials a little bit, I see a lot of county and I don't know if it's the city of Blair appropriation. Just, we had Grass River in here a week or so ago, and their ratio to donations versus appropriations is a lot more even than what yours is. And I'm not saying it's easy to raise money, because we all get asked on a regular basis, but it's nice to see an organization have a little more donations, I guess, is what I would say.
Understood.
And so Curtis, can you go back to the financial slide for me? Is I'm sure there's a very easy explanation, but it doesn't make much, it seems that, yeah, obviously we spent more than we received.
Yes.
Can you explain? I mean, how, we can't function very long like that. So there's a,
Sure.
there's, okay.
So we have been accumulating funds for a number of years without actually spending money on any major projects. The major projects where we've spent money were the 2 parking lot expansions. So from an expense standpoint in 2024, we paid for 2 parking lots to be expanded. You are supporting us with one of those, but your refund or your payment to us didn't come in until early 25. So what's not reflected there from an income standpoint, if you want to use the term income, is those dollars. However, as a board, we did decide that as our monies were continuing to accumulate, that we should start to spend on projects as opposed to just holding the money, doing nothing.
Okay, and then this kind of gets to Jairus's point. I think the business government donations. 43,919. I know the county was part of that's
Yep,
county.
sure.
Can you share with us who else is contributing as well?
The Village of Bel Air, I don't have the specific number, but the Village of Bel Air contributes, as does the Forest Home Township.
Okay.
What I didn't mention, I think it was in my notes, but I failed to say this, is we received a grant from Great Lakes Energy. They have something called the People Fund. So when we were planning to do the parking lot at Vandermark Road, we requested and they granted us dollars as well. So that would be reflected in our income.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions?
I'll make a motion that we accept Glacier Hills' Pathway and Natural Areas Annual Report.
Second,
I'll support.
moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Thank you very
Again,
much.
thank you for all your
Thanks,
support.
appreciate it.
Keep up the good work, buddy. You too, Jim.
In our packet, Antrim County Probate and Family Courts, annual report, we don't require the probate and family court to appear in person. Can I get a motion to approve that annual report?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Move to second, any discussion or questions that we need to follow up on? Yep, sure.
I just noticed in reading it that it looks like the child. I'm
Care fund.
Yes. We spent quite a bit more than what was budgeted, or I don't know if it's the child care. What's the fund where the kids have to be taken because the parents aren't taken care of? Is that it?
That's it, child care fund, yes.
Brad, did you have?
I didn't think they spent over budget on nothing, did they? Which page are you looking at on that?
I didn't highlight it, so I don't.
Yeah, but
Fund 290, you got it? Fund 292, child care.
Yeah.
Brad, is that it?
yeah, that's the childcare fund. Yeah, they only spent 71,000. Yeah, they budgeted 249,000. So I mean, they didn't spend nearly. That's one that we typically budget rather high for that. Occasionally, well, as Bill knows, you can get a special needs family in there that can cost a significant amount. But yeah, I mean, we only spent like 30%.
I think what I was looking at was the bottom where it says net of revenues and expenditures negative 42,000, the very last line.
Page 5 you're looking at.
I don't know what page this is.
Yeah, no, that's page 5. Yep.
So, on the available, are you referring to? Oh, you're looking at what was budgeted for it. Yeah, I mean that, there was, I mean, just how the budget worked out for it, that we had budgeted that we would potentially spend more than grant would come in. But yeah, I mean, that was just how the budget was prepared with that.
Makes sense.
It's
Makes as much sense as.
clear as mud.
Yeah. Okay, good. It was moved to second. Any other questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, moving on, adoption of L 4029. I'm looking for a motion to approve as submitted by Equalization and Administration. To approve, looking for a motion to approve the 2025 tax rate request L 4029 if the county operating millage be set at 5.3001 mil. Commission on Aging at 0.3926 mil, Meadowbrook Medical Care Facility at 0.9332 mil, Antrim Conservation District at 0.0981 mil, E911 at 0.4833 mil, and the recycling millage at 0.1553 mil, and to authorize the board chair and the county clerk to execute the L 4029 tax rate request.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. It's been motion. Is there a second?
That's second.
Moved and seconded, discussion.
Yeah, I'm passing a sheet down for everybody.
Okay.
I just wrote on the sheet the amount that we levied last year. And you can see that the county appropriation was general was 5.19 last year. And so this request will raise taxes by $1.28 million on the people of Antrim County, which is out of the $13 million budget last year is almost a 10% increase. And that doesn't count all the other increases, 95,000 for COA, 132,000 for Meadowbrook, 24,000 for the Conservation District, and 68,000 for 911. I guess I would like to amend the motion to levy 5.19 for the county operating, the same as we did last year.
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded to amend the motion, discussion on that.
I can start.
Sure, yeah.
All right, the reason I'm on board with this is, you know, the SEV value, the taxable value for property owners has increased this year. And there's a couple things, just so the public knows. So metal, let me see, hold on a second. Okay, so Antrim County Conservative District, no, that's not the right one. Anyways, where I'm going with this is there's some that have, it looks like kind of almost stayed the same, but they're gonna receive additional revenue because the increased property value. All right. So, you know, when I talk to my townships and I tell them, you know, we talk about the public safety center and we talk about the bond, and I tell people that the bond is not going to increase your property taxes. But then in the same sense, by going with this increased millage rate for 2025, that's exactly what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I talked to Brad this morning about it and asked him if the county could pay their bills by keeping the millage the same rate that it was last year. He said yes. However, we couldn't put additional money as a down payment towards the public safety center. I understand that. The problem that I have is at some point, and I don't know if we're going to get there, but at some point we might be putting this in front of the voters again, the bond proposal. And I think the optics of this tax increase, and I'm just going, like Jordan Township, for instance, the percentage of their
the taxable value increased by 11.67%. I mean, and that's the highest of all the townships, but it did increase. So if we can pay our bills with last year's millage rate, number one, and with the rate being where it's at and the increase property value, it's still an increase of revenue from what we had in 2024. I think that's the way we have to go. I really do, because I'm telling you right now, I know if we do this right now, if we increase the county operating millage and the public safety center goes in front of the voters, they're not gonna be happy with us. They're not. So I think we really have to be very smart about this. And if, like I said, it's still keeping the millage rate at 5.1945 mils that was in 2024, it's still a little bit of an increase in revenue. County can pay their bills. I think that's just the way I feel about it.
Thanks, Ray. Any comments?
The Jordan Township thing, that was because a lot of property, I believe, was uncapped because it was sold. That's why that went up. I think she was here at the last time and explained us that, so I went and put any.
I'm just saying,
I know,
yeah,
but you were stating it and I'm making sure you
Yeah.
understand
I understand.
why it went up 11%, because they uncapped it because people bought property there.
Bought, sold, so I
Right.
mean, it was sold, so it gets
And I understand it, but if I'm gonna show that, I mean, I don't want to go over all, 15 townships, but there's a significant increase on I mean, nobody went down and, in their, taxable value. There was increase in all 15 townships.
Mine went up. I
Yeah,
pay,
no,
I pay village and I pay county,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know, but, if you look on the other page we have here. We keep saying, we always say raising taxes, raising taxes. I don't like paying taxes either, but if you look here, allocated general fund, original millage authorized by election charter, etc. What's that number?
5.4.
5.4.
Yeah, what are that? We're pretty damn close to 5.4.
Yes, but that's what the people agreed to, was 5.4, and we've never levied 5.4%. And the values, we can't do anything about that. That's comes from the state. It all depends on how you look at it. I know it says you're raising your taxes, but it's not what we're doing. We're not raising the taxes. We're not. We are, but we're not. I'm just saying, do you want your houses to go down?
Yeah.
It's, if you understand, we're not the ones that change the values of these homes. Okay, and we still have a county to run. Our bills aren't going down either, are they? No, I mean. I didn't mean we are, but we're not. That's not what I meant. We are gonna increase, the taxes will increase, but we're not really. It's the values.
No, I know. My point was when I asked Brad if we could pay our bills with the same rate that we had in 2024, and the answer was yes. That's where I'm going at. That's my thing.
Go ahead, Terry.
I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Fine.
It's fine.
Go ahead, Jared.
You talk about properties being bought and sold, and I hear a lot of comments about wanting younger people and people with families to move here, to work here, because we need a lot of jobs. Taxes going up. They went up by over $1 million last year. Now they're going up by 1.6 million this year. People moving here and buying a house, they can no longer afford the taxes. And so we're exasperating a problem. If the problem is a lot of businesses need employees, and now we're raising the taxes so that an average person can't afford to move here. I mean, I have a lot of people in my district that are retirees. The property was sold, it becomes uncapped. Now an average person can't afford to come here and buy and pay the taxes. If we could start to lower this the other way, we could encourage younger people that are willing to work, to move here, to serve our elderly people, to serve our small businesses that need employees.
You know, we keep talking that the Antrim County is getting older, maybe the whole county as a whole, but my district, especially the village of Mansalona, I guarantee you, it's way younger than the rest of the county. So we, you know, we have young people moving into the area. There's people, there's new kids coming into school all the time. There's people moving into this. We had this conversation, Ray. I see it. I'm in the school. I'm around, you know. It's, our area is a lot younger than the rest of it. So for us to say young people are moving here, they are. There's a lot of people moving here that are young, my age and younger. And I'm not young, I tell you that much anymore. So, but it's maybe it's the 9 million Mansalona, but you can't say you're going to encourage people. You're never going to encourage people, young people, to move here and they're going to live on the lake. I'm sorry, they're going to live in my side of the county because there's no lakefront property with super high taxable values on them. And I'm sorry, I don't see it the same way you guys do because I know, I'm sorry, living on the lake, it's expensive. I get it. And the taxes go up. My taxes go up, not as much as yours, but my taxes going up, I'll pay. And what I pay in the extra taxes isn't going to be able to me to take my family to McDonald's. So you know, it doesn't affect me that much, I guess. So I mean, you have to look at it in 10 different ways, I guess. But for us to keep saying people can't afford to move here, on my side of the county. Over there, sure, maybe. Here in west, but over on the east side, people can afford to move there and people are moving there. And every time we cut things, where do you think those things are cut from? My community. You guys want to cut all the stuff? What's going to get cut? My community. So that's where I'm at. And it's going to get cut. That's what happens every damn time. When we say that it doesn't, things get cut and that's where it gets cut, over there. So.
Thanks. Brad, Brad, Ray made a comment. Ray indicated he spoke with you. You want to, anything you want to add to that?
When you create your budget, it was quite near the number that it actually came out to. There was a bit with budget time that it was raising. Again, I tried to just get more accurate estimates in it. When you create your budget, any of the surplus I put to the building replacement fund. So, I mean, it is a dollar for dollar that, you know, what's removed here will have to end up being an additional borrowing. I've heard that the cost of interest was the main complaint. If you don't have the current cash, then you have to borrow. I mean, it is, I mean, so it's either, you know, having a down payment or an increased borrowing.
Thanks, Brad. I'll use my authority as a chairperson to call on the treasurer who's here, see if she has any comments she'd like to make.
The overall millage increase is 0.0792. That equates to $1,000 value of 8 cents, $10,000 value of 79 cents, $100,000 of $7.92.
Thank you.
That's what I was getting at. It's not as, you know.
Other comments? Sheriff?
I can't buy ice creams, put it that way.
Hold on. Sheriff?
I have widows in my district. I have young families in my district. And it may not be a big deal to you. But sometimes a little bit of grace and a little bit of understanding can go a long way with constituents that are struggling to get by. There's a woman in my district, her husband died, her property taxes go up, Social Security hardly gets her by anymore. So Just because it doesn't bother you to pay an extra 15, 20, 50, whatever it is, doesn't mean we shouldn't think about people that it does.
Let him finish, please.
I
Sorry.
really think that it's very obvious if you come to Banks Township that property taxes are really becoming harder and harder for people to afford. And thinking about some of these businesses that need employees and people to move here, putting money in the taxpayers' wallets is where the money should go. If we can pay our bills, then we should do that.
And my final comments, or my only comments are, is imagine what we could be doing if the Public Safety Center, the jail, had been built in 2008. And that's every time I sit here and I think about this. And I'm like, and it wasn't, and it's still an elephant in the room that has not been resolved. And I have heard, people have said to me, pay for the, as Brad indicated, they're not comfortable with the amount of borrowing we had suggested. They've said to me, save the money. So those are my comments. Any final quick, Ray?
I just have
Yep.
one thing. So, well, I was, asking to keep the rate at 2024 rates. It's because when you look at 911, the millage rate is actually for this coming fiscal year is going down. However, because of the increased values, the taxable value, even though the rate's going down, 911 is going to get an additional $68,000. What I'm getting at, and I think this is where we have to really understand, I mean, what is government to make money, or is it to basically provide the services? So to keep the rate at the 2024 rate, it's the $13,558,741 is gonna go up. It's gonna go up in 2025. It's gonna be an increase. All right. That's so, and my whole thing is, like I said, I mean, we're talking about this public safety center, and it's a big thing. It's the biggest thing that as a board that we're talking about. And I just think to increase, because it's a tax increase. And then if it does go in front of the voters in November, when I'm telling everybody, no, we're not increasing your taxes, but that's exactly what is going on, because we want to put additional money towards the project, down payment. And I understand that. I really do. But unfortunately, I mean, this is where we're at right now. And I'd like to have the trust of the community. And I think that this just sends the wrong message. I do. It's my feeling.
Okay, final comments. There is, do we remember the amended motion? We do? Everybody's good on that?
Yeah.
Okay, Vicky, I'll ask for a roll call vote on the amended motion, please.
Okay, Commissioner Howard,
No.
Commissioner Rubin,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Alstine,
No.
Commissioner Scola,
Yes.
Commissioner Heffer.
No. Amended motion fails. Back to the original motion. Any discussion on the original motion? Okay, roll call that for me, please, Vicky.
Okay, Commissioner Howard,
Yep, yes.
Commissioner Scola,
No.
Commissioner Van Alstine,
Yes.
Commissioner Rubin,
No.
Commissioner Heffer.
Yes. Okay. Hold on, Brad. Yeah, got it. Thank you. Okay, next, county clerk, appointment of jury board members, looking for a motion that the chairman's appointment of Dr. Veronica Welter, representing the Democrat Party, and Corcoran Crimmins, representing the Republican Party, to fill the vacated positions on the Antrim County Jury Board for the term beginning May 1, 2025, for a period of 6 years, ending April 30, 2031, be accepted.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, moving second and discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Moving on, Sheriff's Office Fleet Management Agreement submitted by Under Sheriff Lassiter. Looking for a motion to authorize the board chair to execute the Enterprise Fleet Management Company owned service agreement, the maintenance management and fleet rental agreement, and the master equity lease agreement for an initial 10 vehicles, and authorize the finance director to make the budget amendments to Sheriff 101-000-301 from 101-00-901-009 and 80-301, and general fund balance, and $3,600 for accounting software.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Moved and supported. Devin Doucette's with us. Devin, could you come up for please? And the sheriff as well. More the merrier. Questions? Questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So this is venue pricing?
Yes.
Okay. Under trim level, it says base all-wheel drive with 8.7 thousand AME. What, do you know what that is?
I believe that's the inclusion of the.
Okay, okay, all right.
I'm sorry, Ray. Grab that mic, grab just that microphone for me, Devin. Thanks. Thank you.
Okay. And then, just so you know, I made some phone calls because when I first seen this, I didn't know that departments were doing it, but they're doing it. There's no doubt about it. So I talked to a chief of police from a suburban department downstate yesterday, actually, and told me about the pros and the cons, you know, and the pros are for him, I mean, they can afford 4 cars a year, but that doesn't help them. They have a bigger department. And he's like, so the pros are you're gonna get your cars, which is awesome, especially for the safety of our law enforcement officers. The cons are, and there's nothing we can do about it, but you know, if you hit a deer or, you know, something like that, that's a problem, you know, obviously. And then he said something about dents, you know, like dents in a scout car. If we don't, like, you know, fix that, then that's gonna be something when we turn it in, they're gonna charge us, but we're gonna have to fix it. Other than that, you know, I'm looking at the prices, I don't think, and I talked to Bill about this, I don't think that like we're going to like we're gonna really lose money, you know, so to speak. Because I know, I mean, the prices are a little bit more, but overall, I think that it's actually probably a really good idea for our department. Also, but I got one question for you, or a couple questions. So, but my concern, and I think I talked to George about this yesterday, but mileage, because we get 20,000 a year, so 100,000 miles if we even keep them for 5 years. But when I look at the fleet list and the fleet list, which is, thank you for whoever did this. This is awesome. But we got a 4-year Ford Explorer with 102,000 miles, so it averages about 25,000 a year. So that's obviously, that could be a problem because we don't want to go over mileage. And then this might be a typo, but I have to ask. We have a 2020 Tahoe with 700,000 miles. That's a typo, right? It was like this, that's crazy. Like, okay.
It was at the time of the report, it was 7,000.
Okay, yeah. Right, so, but, and then I talked to George said that, because they have, I'm talking about Enterprise, they have some sort of maintenance agreement, but we're gonna maintain these vehicles ourselves, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, it'll be status quo pretty much with vehicles as we they take it right now.
okay,
That'd be Mr. Types. Take care of that.
okay, Perfect.
Obviously, if it's recall, then we'll do it.
Okay.
And just to touch on, if I may, the mileage problem of the 4-year-old vehicle, it also kind of goes hand in hand with the issue that we're having, why we started looking into this. It's a 4-year vehicle, but we've been having maintenance issues with vehicles that have 190,000 miles on it. And not being able to spread the wealth out between deputies' vehicles. So we had, I believe the one that you're referring to was being not seen for a few months straight almost, and to the point where we had supervisors telling officers to swap for the night so the car could be shut off and not be driven to the way. So
Okay.
that was a little extra miles because we were down cars.
Okay, all right. And then the only question, like, Jeremy, where this is in the budget, we can do this. I should brag.
So over the 5-year period, yes, Brad and I both believe it will end up being a wash if, or not, at least not an increase. The immediate though, you're not going to see those returns except when you sell the cars.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a higher annual budget, but over the life of the service, it would be the same.
Yeah, so thank you. We can put this together.
Go ahead, cheers.
The thing that bothers me the most about it is the $3,600 for software for Brad, because a leased vehicle is a nightmare for accounting and our audit. I'm on the mental health board and they have a bunch of vehicles and it's a headache. So I guess you're getting rid of a $3,600 headache and you're giving it to Brad, but we just raised Brad's pay, so I guess that's what he's getting paid for.
Jason, any comments? Thank you. Devin, my question is looking at the, I guess it'd be page 10 of our packet, but you're indicating that we're gonna go with, or you're suggesting we go with 7 Explorers and 3 Tahoes. And the Tahoes are more money. Yes, yes. And so why can't we get away with 10 Explorers?
We decided to go with Tahoes for the administration and possibly the detectives, if that comes out. We all have probably double the amount of equipment in our vehicles that we have to tow around, especially detectives and sheriff myself, because we're essentially a support unit in the road. They have their family control stuff. I myself have a tire entry kit, I have a tire process kit, and whiteboards and stuff. So like it's a command situation. We have to show up and respond to a big event. You know, whiteboards, whiteboard in the car. So just the extra space that we need. A similar example, a detective right now is driving the BPRs, and if you ever get a chance to walk past his car and look at it, there's totes stacked on the top. And that's kind of what we're trying to. It's also a good thing. Not be able to see it.
All right. Terry.
Back, this isn't anything that's new. Back when I first got on the board, when we went to new commissioner school, Dan Bean was the sheriff. And they were there presenting this and people were jumping on board back then. And they've just continually been adding more and more counties and whatnot. I know that a lot of private businesses that have delivery vehicles use Enterprise for the simple reason is private business writes off the lease. Counties don't get to do that. I don't think, do they, Brad? No, but there's a lot of people that do lease vehicles and it's not new to the sheriff's department. It's just that Dan opted not to do it at that time. Now, Kevin's picking that up and George, and I believe that this is the right thing to do. So we'll have better vehicles and actually break even or maybe even a little bit less over the life of the vehicles. So that's all I got.
Okay. Devin, I mean, this is what you think is best for the department.
Based off of the months of information that we've been going back and forth, I do. I do think it is. I think the discussion that we've had, the biggest point is that from what we can see right now, what we've been provided is at the worst to break even, and that gets us out of 11+ year old vehicles with 200,000 miles. And for a break even, and then the potential to save some money down the road. But so I do personally feel that it's good, a good point.
Thanks, Devin. Anyone else? I do. Ray, I appreciate you doing the homework on this as well. It's very helpful for me as well. So there is a motion in a second. Aye. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right. Thank you, Devin. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, moving on, submitted by Jeremy for the Sheriff's Department to authorize, look for a motion to authorize the chair to execute an agreement with Canteen Services, Inc. for the assumption of the county's current agreement with Cellmate Food Solutions for jail food services.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any questions?
Jeremy, I read through this. How many years is this good for? I didn't see it in here.
It has a renewal, that. This is an assumption, so it just assumes the current contract, which does expire soon, but it has a renewal.
So we'll have the opportunity to renew it.
Okay, move second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Brandon's here with us tonight. Veterans Affairs, looking for a motion to authorize the chair to execute the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency fiscal year 2026 County Veterans Service Fund Grant, Antrim County VA in the amount of $49,654.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll support.
Moved and supported. Any questions for Brandon? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Anyone opposed? Second matter, also submitted by Brandon, looking for a motion to authorize the release of funds up to $37,896 for the purchase of a Veterans Affairs office vehicle as budgeted.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
You got.
Got Ray, all right, Terry made a motion, got Ray supporting it. Any questions for Brandon? Come on up, Brandon. Thanks for being here tonight. Yep. Okay. Go ahead, Jerry.
Do you know what kind of vehicle you're getting, or did you get a quote for, or is it a my deal price, or what's? I don't.
We're looking all over right now.
Oh, okay. You haven't
Nothing
specifically.
settled down on it. That's why we're busting up to that.
Anybody else? Okay, moved and supported. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, thanks again. Have a good night. Yeah. Airport, submitted by Matthew, our airport director, looking for a motion to approve the release of funds and accept proposals from Harbor Fence Company for the installation of a new primary gate and gate operator and Anavon Technologies Group for the installation of a new access control unit.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. Questions? For Jeremy. Yeah, questions for Jeremy? Cheers.
Yeah, and page 40, payment number, item number 2, second payment, the remaining balance not exceeding the total contract amount will be dispersed once proof of costs and grant expenditure documents from the first payment and first 50% of the project was completely expended and sent to MDOT.
Yeah, they changed it up how they're doing it recently. Basically you expend first half, ask for. And then you can ask for the second half.
I was gonna say it doesn't, it lost me there for a
It's
second.
a bit odd, but that's how they're doing it now.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, move to second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Moving on to H, public hearing, I will open a public hearing. The matter is Antrim County proposed to use 72,000 in community development block grant funds to purchase and distribute emergency generators for eligible businesses and to purchase and distribute funding for generator related costs to eligible businesses as part of the 2025 Community Development Block Grant Urgent Need Program. No persons will be displaced as a result of the proposed activities. Any additional comments you want to make, Jeremy, in regards to this matter?
This was a MEDC to grants to businesses affected or that assisted with those affected by the ice storm or generators.
Public comment or questions with a public hearing? There's an opportunity for questions from the public. So I'll open up the floor for if there's any questions or comments on what Jeremy and I just read, John. This is this is a urgent needs program from the Community Development Block Grant, a result of the ice storm. It is possible, and it is also not possible, that anybody in the community may be eligible for this or may apply for this. I think we would be mistaken to, however, presume to exclude the entire county if there was somebody that was eligible for this, so. Okay, being no other questions or comments, I'll close the public comment and adjourn the public hearing. Now, obviously, the second part of this now is again submitted by Jeremy. Looking for a motion to approve the attached resolution. The resolution is number 2025-13. And authorize the chair to sign a community development block grant urgent need grant agreement.
Make that motion. I'll support.
Been moved and supported. Questions? Jairus.
Do you know, Jeremy, if someone rented a generator, if the rental expense will be?
Not for this.
And what if they didn't have a generator, but they went and bought one because they saw how long the power was gonna be out?
This is a very narrow item that was offered up by MEDC. It is for a specific generator. The county will have to take applications for these generators, and then the county will have to purchase them and be reimbursed for them.
It seems to be like for business.
Hold on. Okay,
Sorry.
all right,
No,
go, you done?
based on what I'm hearing, I'm really getting the feeling that the number from Antrim County is gonna be 0.
It's definitely not how I would have chosen to do it. But this was offered up, and as Bill said, we didn't want to shut down opportunities for people if there was a need for this. We can't really know what the need is exactly. It wasn't specifically asked for by any businesses. But when we open it up, we'll have the emergency manager, we'll advertise it, try to see if any businesses could utilize these.
Jason.
Well, I was just saying, you're asking basically for individuals, and this is really for businesses who helps individuals, so. That's all.
Yeah, I was, yeah.
Right.
Jeremy, so I'm seeing it says the term of work performance shall be from May 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. Plus additional time to meet reporting or other procedural requirements, so
That's the time we have to give out any of the generators.
yeah, that's okay. It's pretty short, but okay. Yeah, thanks.
Terry, any other?
No, I'm good.
All right, okay, we do have a motion in a second? Yes, thank you, okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Oh, wait, I'm sorry,
roll call.
it's a roll call, Vicky, sorry, it's a resolution, yep.
Commissioner Hellwig,
Yes.
Commissioner Van Alstine,
Yes.
Commissioner Rubin,
Yes.
Commissioner Scola,
Yes.
Commissioner Heckman.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Moving on, reports, county administrators report, questions for Jeremy? Question for Jeremy? All one, stand by. Yay. Moving on. Brad.
Yep, report is as written, the reports for capital improvement plan were due today. I will have those emailed out to you, by next week, the 21st. Again, meeting 28, at 10 a.m.
Everybody's got that.
Yeah.
28th at 10 a.m. for the CIP meeting. Okay. Any questions for Brad? Chairman's report. We all received an email from Leslie, the drain commissioner and operator of dams. And she's as sensitive as I am about everybody's time, but we're looking to set up another committee for lake levels. This is attached to the resolution we passed just 2 weeks ago. So I'd like to put this on the agenda to establish that committee, and I'm looking for a couple of volunteers that we can put on. And Terry's kind enough to be one of those. Is there anyone else who'd be kind enough to volunteer for that, please?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the dates yet, right? Or
We do not.
Okay,
No.
I'd like to, just because I want to learn more about this issue.
Thank you very much. So we'll have that on our agenda for appointment and approval of next month's meeting. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Terry. And I'm sure we all saw it, but there was, I thought, a great article in the April Michigan Association of Counties magazine. If you do have it or you've seen it, in terms of the legal relationship between the county board and the sheriff. I've given Kevin a copy of that. I have copies if anyone else would like copies of that. I think it's just a very nice synopsis of our roles and how they intermingle. So I think Mac did they did a nice job on that. And finally, my last thing I just want to say is, again, today is Peace Officers Memorial Day. And so I'm glad Kevin brought one of our new deputies in. So please just keep all those men and women in your prayers moving forward. So, Kevin, sheriff's report, anything additional you'd like to report today?
I did, deputy.
Okay.
I had to do it early because
The treasurer report submitted for information only, but the treasurer is still with us. Share anything you'd like to add? Okay. Any additional comments, right?
Yeah, I just want to share this. Right. So this Saturday, May 17th from 4 to 7 p.m., there's going to be a spaghetti fundraiser dinner. Our Star Township Fire Department, one of our own, Lieutenant Todd Glick, he has some serious health issues right now. And they're setting this up for him to try to kind of alleviate the cost. So he's given 21 years of service to Star Township, and he's just a wonderful gentleman. So my wife and I were going to be attending, and I encourage anybody if they can. You know, it's at Alba School too. So this Saturday, 4 to 7, spaghetti dinner at Alba School. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Sheriff?
Yeah. I'd just like to thank Mindy again for being here, and if you would mention to John Roth, we have this board has passed a consolidated courts, and we need the legislature to move with that, and I think we have the Supreme Court Administrator's office on board with it, and our judges are looking forward to it. We just think that it would really help to serve the people of Antrim County to have a court right here dedicated to them.
Thanks. Terry, anything else?
Petoskey Stone Festival this Saturday at Barnes Park. And isn't John Roth coming on Monday to the Central Lake Schools?
I think so.
Or the library, I mean, that's what I have on my calendar. At 6 o'clock, there's a town hall at 6 o'clock at Central Lake District Library.
Jason, good, okay. Good too. Public comment. Any last public comment? Court, go ahead.
My public comment would be if Commissioner Scola, you could tell us if we cannot be there on May 17th, but we wanted to contribute to the fund for the Star Township Fire.
Okay, absolutely, yep.
Thanks, Corky. John.
My wife just retired from community health and back in the day, was the last year we had a Christmas party and Terry was always there helping out as my son is happy. And one of the companies that I went to, I was designated to go get donations from the counties, Calcasca and Antrim. And one of the companies I went to get something donated was Gilroy's. And they came into this city right now and they told the credit. And they were folks there that they were going to put him out of business. And look over there now, and it looks like they have a wetlands developed over there. And how we could get away with that, and they diverted the water flow off our property and locked it in. It was brand new. So I want to Gilroy's. I've talked to Rob. This was years back. After 2 years in a row, I wanted to get donations from their family. The credits donated a lot of money all the time, and gifts. So if you want to turn it to a business that is a community business, help the purpose and borrow and all that. And as far as some of the donor safety center, I don't know why it couldn't be built at the airport. I think right out of the city. We don't necessarily need that development that larger development put into this area. And then this is for Terry and Jason, our health board guys. If the county still paying for shots for children that they don't need to go to school, there's no liability protection anymore. But the contract that Archie got in 1986, they built that contract because they all started on a lot of different junk, like cancer viruses, acetone, antifreeze, cells, and there's COVID shots that are totally just toxic for everyone. If you don't have the information, then if you represent the county and not tell them they don't give those shots to those, most of the families don't have that money to pay for shots, but they think they need them to go to school. And as I mentioned before, Frank Alaska County Nurse back in the 90s at a school board meeting, stated that it was all part of the funding. It had nothing to do with the children's health. It was a mandate. And the mandates had to go through the federal register from what Congress in 1933, Bill, am I correct? There's a federal register and there's administrative procedure act in 1946. None of these agencies file any of their agendas. And so if the county is paying for these shots, I'm just disturbed by that. Representing the county on the board, and let Lisa Peacock make our children wear masks, and let them do that. She had no authority to do that. That was a travesty. And so, think about what you're back into.
Thanks.
The vaccine program.
Thank you, John. Anyone else tonight?
Randy Bishop, Torch Lake Township. I've attended the last two ad hoc meetings from the audience regarding the safety center. And for those commissioners that haven't been there, and for the public that may not be aware, it was very productive, 2 meetings. It got to the point though in the last meeting that we were going around in circles and circles, coming down to one basic issue or problem. We needed a blueprint. We need a design. Because without a blueprint, without a design, you can't get a bid. Public relation issue wasn't explained necessarily right to the public. So Chairman Heffron, I just want to thank you for putting this ad hoc committee together. I want to reach out to John Roth, my state representative, and John DeMoose, my state senator. And I challenged 2 participants in the ad hoc committee. Sheriff Hope very graciously took my question, I hope, to heart. How long can he continue to operate a non-compliant jail in our county? Is there gonna come a point where Lansing says, Sheriff Hope, you're out of compliance and you're gonna get hit with a $500,000 fine starting January 1st? My other attack came to your county administrator. And I challenged Jeremy to reach out to architects and construction companies to get us a blueprint. And without spending $1 million to design it, is there a way we could possibly get a design on a caveat basis? Other counties have done this. They'll enter into an agreement where the architect gets paid $250,000 or $100,000 on the basis that if he gets the job, this would be his final price. If he doesn't get the bid, he gets paid a penalty for not getting the bid at a higher amount. There's ways you can negotiate certain things. And Jeremy agreed that he would be willing to ask the asinine questions and embarrass himself as a credit to you guys, the commissioners. But I think a way to do this is to expend the money on a design. Show the public exactly what it is you're gonna build, whether it's this area or the airport like John's talking about, or other areas in the county, but come up with a blueprint, which we've never had. Jason, Terry, you guys were here. I mean, this goes back to Mike Crawford, and this goes back to Ed Betcher. And it was something I kept saying, guys, you can't get a bid, you can't give us a price without a blueprint, a design, a specs of materials list, soil borings to know you're not dealing with toxic sites. And then the public can be engaged with you guys. And as part of that process, maybe this committee who stopped the bond could participate with Jeremy and the architect and come up with a good design, give us a price, and then let's take it from there.
Thanks, Randy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Who else? There being no one else? We're adjourned by order of the chair. Thank you, everyone.
Did it come out?